Black Oni.
This is Solid Snake, and you are now listening to the Black Oni podcast. So pay some damn attention. Damn.
Oh, look, that's perfect. I don't have to move nobody nowhere, nothing. You're already exactly where you need to be on the screen. We love it. We love it. So, chat, question for y'all. Can y'all hear Audio Lover?
What's up, guys? Mic check 1 2 1 2.
I can hear you.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
I'm going to turn you up on my end just a little bit because I'm sure I am way louder.
Okay.
All right, chat. What do we sound like? What are we hearing? What are we listening to? What's happening?
What's happening?
How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great, bro. I'm doing amazing right now. I just got out of work. This week has been really, really crazy, man. I mean, I guess we're gonna talk about it, but like, listen, the internet, yo, and I know you. I know you've been busy, but let me tell you, Twitter has been on fire this week. On fire.
I saw notifications that you were doing your talks.
Bro, I've been on Spaces for like 2 days straight. I've been in Spaces for 2 days straight. It's been crazy. It's been on fire.
So,
I mean, oh man.
What's been going? I was gonna say, what's been going on it that's not already on the agenda? Because I'm sure there's other stuff that I know I missed. That just happens to be stuff that I missed.
What's let me double check the agenda really quick.
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna be talking about everything that
Okay.
that has been going on. I mean, a lot of it, you know, has been fanboy stuff. I mean, 80% of it has.
Okay, I got you. So
20%.
before we get into it. Okay. There's a little bit of a delay, so if I talk over you, my bad. I'm never intending to.
Okay.
First, before we get into the meat of today's show, I want to thank everybody who's here already. You could obviously be doing anything else in the world, but you decided to come kick it with us and vibe and listen in on today's broadcast, on today's podcast. If you are interested in sharing your thoughts about a topic that we have discussed on the next episode, feel free to send that to me on Twitter. If you want to just reply to the tweet that is already out for today's show, that would be awesome. Matter of fact, I'm just going to share it in the chat right now. If you're watching on YouTube, you can still do this. There still should be time to do that for the next episode. So I want to do things to involve the community a little bit more in everything that I do, not just the live streaming, but also the discussions that we have with regards to gaming. So here's the link. Go check that out. Go submit your 20 or 30 second clip of your thoughts about something that we talk about today, and we'll put it in the next episode. But beyond that, Audio Lover, thank you for your time and for coming through to talk some games and talk a little shop about what's happening in the gaming world. So introduce yourself a little bit. Tell people who you are and what you do.
Yeah, I'm the Audio Lover. I am a content creator mainly on YouTube. I do stream on Twitch. You can catch me Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 12 to 2. Definitely Fridays from 12 to 2, noon to 2. Saturdays and Sundays starting at noon, and I could go longer. I play a variety of games, mainly on my PlayStation. A variety of games from Grand Theft Auto to sci-fi games. I'm starting to play a couple of older PS3 games, PS3 remastered type games. So that's really fun.
Okay.
Do content on my YouTube as well, mainly Grand Theft Auto Online content, sci-fi television content. You could also catch me on in gaming. So if you watched The Expanse, we could chop it up on The Expanse. That series finale was phenomenal.
I didn't
Yeah.
see the season yet, so we're gonna watch it very soon. Probably in the next few weeks, we'll end up getting
Listen,
through all of it. But we love The Expanse.
once you watch that series finale, text me, call me, whatever. I don't care if it's 3, 4 in the morning. Like, I will wake up. I want to talk about that. Like, I want to talk about that. If you're on Spaces, I want to talk about The Expanse because that's such a great show and they ended it so amazingly. Also, I'm a huge Stargate fan, so like I'm following Stargate very heavily. You could catch that as well on my YouTube and that Amazon MGM deal going on over there if we're gonna get a fourth show. So yeah,
I've never
that's where
seen
I'm at.
Stargate.
You can find me everywhere. The Audio Lover. Stargate is my favorite sci-fi. Legitimately speaking, it is my favorite sci-fi. Like
Okay,
without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I think I'll hit my wife up and be like, "Yo, I know you like sci-fi. Like, what you think about trying this out too?" Because between that and like
Yeah,
Wheel
I mean,
of Time,
Wheel of Time is a good one. I definitely want to watch more of. I only saw like the first 2 episodes. I did a watch party for that. That one was fun. Um, that one really has me more interested in what they're gonna do with Lord of the Rings. I don't know if you got to see the title screen reveal for that. Yeah, so I think they're gonna either release this year or next year, but they're ready. They're
wait,
ready.
so is Wheel of Time part of the Lord of the Rings, or are you talking about a Lord of the Rings show, like a totally different thing?
No. Right, they're gonna do a Lord of the Rings show on
Oh,
Amazon Prime
I didn't hear nothing about
as
this.
well. Yes. They and yeah, they spent and I don't know the exact number, but they spent like upwards to 100 mil for this for that show.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
God
So that
damn.
one is they just revealed the title for that. And they're
Cutting out a little bit. We're gonna give it a moment or two to re-catch up. I've gone through my own fair share of internet issues, so it could honestly be me. I don't know.
Unity making sure out of a storm.
Make sure y'all go follow him. I love when audio freezes because it freezes at the best times. Yo, it really does.
Here, try to do it on my cell.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it might just be me.
Oh, it might be
Yeah, it
okay.
might just
Yeah,
be me. Um okay, myself.
yeah. Calling yourself. See if that ends up working. If not, we'll just do
Okay.
straight up audio instead of video as well. That way,
All right.
bandwidth and all
Perfect.
that.
Well, exactly. All right.
It's two Onis.
All right.
Hey,
Let's see.
okay. Hold on. Let me do a little something real quick. Okay. This is coming through clear.
We're a little bit better.
Yeah. I'm gonna turn you
All
down
right.
just a little bit on
So
my end,
let
but
me
it's
let me
perfect.
get a mount for my phone real quick because I do have one. I don't want to just hold this for like a couple hours.
Yeah,
But I got
yeah. I get it. But really, you're moist now for real? Oh, y'all are wild. If you do that well, only try to poke you in the eye. Listen, don't poke me in the eye though. I need those. I need those to see things. I need them for things. You can poke me in the nose. That's fine. Nose pokes are okay. What's up, Coop? How you doing, man? Hold that shit up for hours. No, don't hold it up for hours. You'll be over there tripping. Be mad as hell. Arms all tired, wobbly, knees weak, arms is heavy. Vomit on a sweater. I'm ready. Mom spaghetti. Been a minute. It has been a minute, Coop. It's been a grip and a half. But welcome back. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for hanging. Thanks everybody. NB, Waiter Buffalo, anyone else who's watching. I know there's some lurkers in here as well. But yeah, between that, I moved to Austin probably like October, and all of our stuff is in storage because we bought a house. But they're still building the house, and they have a lot of delays, so it's going to be even longer before I can access any
I
of that
definitely
stuff.
want to talk to you about that offline.
Man,
Because
it
I'm
is.
looking and I want to know who your builder is. I don't want to put you on blast and all that, but I want
Yeah,
to talk to you.
we can talk offline for sure. But it's if you're thinking about buying like a new home or like you're about to buy like a new construction that they're still building, there's a good chance that whatever date they told you is going to be done is going to be like 3 months, 4 months after that. Because originally they said it was going to be done in January, February. Then they were like, oh, it's looking more like March. Now they're like, it's looking more like June. So we're going to have to move in the dead ass heat of it's going to be horrible. But I'm really excited to move. Oh, you're on mute right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're looking a lot better.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Yo, isn't it weird how like our phones have better internet than our homes
Oh,
do?
yeah, for sure.
I
For
don't
sure.
I don't understand. Like I've had all types of issues with my own connection. Specifically tried to play Knockout City yesterday. I think he was watching while I was playing.
Yeah.
My ping was just going all over the place, and like I could pay for better internet, but like the difference between how much I'm getting compared to how much more I'm paying doesn't make any sense. So that's why
So
like
I have good internet speed. The problem for me is my building, and that's why I want to move. The
mm,
infrastructure in my building cannot handle the speed. So I always have for as long as I've been here, I've always had internet issues.
oh
And like
no.
that, yeah. So like for me, like that's always been the hindrance of me streaming. That's why I do YouTube more. You get what I'm saying? Because it's just like upload and
Yeah,
like I tried streaming last weekend and it was like, yo, like after I think almost an hour,
it just cut
even
off.
even the earlier times when we used to, when you used to have me on the show and that used to be my issue. It just
Damn.
used to be, it used to be that. So, hopefully moving very soon. We've been looking for a home. But yeah, definitely going to talk about that offline because
Yeah.
I wanted to top it off with you on that as well.
Yeah. And if that's something, chat, that y'all are, interested in hearing more about just the adulting side of
Right.
being an adult in this day and age, like I'm happy to have conversations during
For sure.
streams to do that. But I can't even say, I'm gonna tell you about it off stream, but like I can't even say nothing about it because this has gotten delayed so much and something else to do with this. There's something cool that's supposed to happen in conjunction with this that
Okay.
hopefully it should still happen, but I don't know.
Okay. All right. Hey, hopefully it does, man.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm gonna tell you about it for sure. But yeah, this is clean because I can hear you. It's not delayed. It's like
Yeah.
this is perfect. But speaking of perfect, thank you for the intro, and everyone, make sure you go follow the Audio Lover if you haven't already done so on Twitch, on Twitter, on YouTube. I put the links in the chat below. But I gotta ask a question that I'm not even prepared to answer myself, but I'm gonna come up with something on the fly. What was your
Right.
biggest surprise of last year in terms of gaming?
Surprise of last year.
And chat, y'all can answer this too. It's a hard question, so if y'all have answers already, I can start spitting off y'all's answers as well. But it's hard, dude.
Releasing
Like,
last year was a little bit of a surprise.
what was?
Horizon not releasing last year for me was a little bit of a surprise.
Okay.
But I don't know. There were not that many surprises. It Takes Two winning Game of the Year.
Okay, I'll take that. Yep.
It Takes Two winning Game of the Year.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah,
haven't
I
played
was
it
definitely
yet, but
surprised by that.
I just bought it recently because like I had
How's it?
heard from I heard from a few
It's good.
people already that it was good. Also, it is good.
Yeah, no, I started playing it after it got Game of the Year. Um, so I bought it like at the Game of the Year sale. You know, I think like a lot of other people probably did as well who didn't think it would have even won that.
Right.
And yeah, I started playing with my wife who doesn't play video games unless I beg her to. She's why, but yeah, no, she loves it. We've been playing. It's a fun game, man. It's a really really fun game. It's easy to pick up, and the story is just great. Yeah, so that
Nice.
was a surprise for me. That was definitely a surprise for me. I didn't think not I didn't think a game like that. Um, you know what? Yeah, I didn't think a game like that delivering with that type of message, not how it played, not the mechanics, not the artwork, delivering the type of message it was delivering. I didn't think a game like that would win Game of the Year. I would say
I
that.
I agree because from what I understand, it's a game that you have to play with someone else, correct, in order
Yes,
to
yes,
even play it at
yeah,
all.
yeah.
Yeah, and with how finicky that can be with gamers who just want to play by themselves, for example.
Right. Or even just the message of like what love is and like I don't want to spoil it for you. I don't know how much you know about the game, but just the story behind that game in particular. Like I would have never thought that would be a game that would be a game of the year contender.
Hmm.
But it's a great game. It's a great game.
I'm really looking forward to playing it because my wife does like to play games, and oops, fuck. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. I didn't mean to do that. Son of a bitch. Give me 1 second. Sorry, that was my bad.
Oh, I was like, wait, what did I do? I'm over
So
here scrambling.
so for some reason, sometimes when I interact with the screen, it will it will make my mouse cursor completely disappear. And so I was like, fuck, like, where did it go? And so I just try to click back into your name and it just closed the whole shit. So I must have pressed end call or close. Bro, I was so tight for a second. I didn't even, I'm so mad because I cut you off. He was in the middle of talking.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I thought I did something. I was like, wait a minute, no, what did I do? I'm thinking it's the phone. I'm like, why the hell did I even suggest going on the phone?
No, it sounds even better than it did before, bro. You're good. You're good. Uh, but yes, it takes two. I'm looking forward to trying that with my wife. So she does play games.
Yeah.
We play things together. She like Battle Chef is like her favorite game right now. Like she fucking loves that game. I do
Which one is
too.
it?
Battle Chef Brigade. It's
Okay.
basically a 2D action platformer mixed with a uh, gem puzzle game.
Okay.
It is by far one of, it's not the biggest surprise of last year because it came out a few years ago, but I had played it at PAX East back when I was living in Boston and met with the developers. They were cool. They were just showcasing the game for the first time, and
Ooh.
they picked up a publisher, which happened to be um, Adult Swim.
Okay.
Uh, and the game had moved on to do some really, really amazing things. I'm gonna put up a clip of it real quick so that people can see what this game is like. It's one of those games that I feel it's from 4 years ago.
Yeah, I
I
think
feel
it's
like
2017.
yeah, I feel like it aged actually pretty well too. Let me
So
see.
Nintendo Switch, is it on? Oh, it's on PlayStation as well.
It's on everything, bro. It's on PC. It's on Switch.
Really? I've never even heard of this game. That's crazy.
It's so good. I'll move myself down here. Ba, ba, ba. Sorry, just jerry rigging a little bit here, chat. Just bear with me as I move myself on screen. Let's go with, we got you down here. I'll move you up. Don't worry about that. What is going on with this internet? What? Oh, I see what happened. There we go.
These companies need to get it together.
I know. But this is what the game is like. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's really fun. The dishes that you can make are all like super inventive, and it's basically like monsters are inhabiting the world in some way or another. And we figured out a way to hunt them, to stop them from obviously getting too crazy, but also to like make food out of them. It's just super dope. So
I'm interested. I'm definitely interested.
And it should be like pretty inexpensive right now.
I'm gonna put it on my watch list.
Yeah,
my backlog is still crazy, but I definitely like jump on a sale or two every now and again. But no, I'm definitely looking forward to copping this. This looks great.
Yeah. There were a few other answers in chat, actually, some really good answers. So one of them being Space 40K Space Marine 2, that being a surprise. And someone, Coop J, actually mentioned that. And I played the demo on the PS3 as well, I believe. And I was like, oh, okay, this is cool.
Yeah, I remember that. Right?
Yep. And it was like a third-person action game. And
yeah, I remember that. I was like, okay, yeah. Yeah, I think it would be something I'd be interested in. Like I said, I'm a sci-fi fan, so I think it's something I'd be interested in.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Alan Wake 2 in there as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I feel like that was a surprise, just in the sense that like I didn't know it was being developed, but I'm not surprised that they are doing it.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
I saw Wonder Woman. That was also a surprise. I had no idea they were making that until.
Oh, that is, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how that actually plays.
Yeah, me too.
I'm interested to see how that actually plays.
Listen,
I do have reservations.
I mean, yeah, of course, because they haven't done a Warner Brothers. It's so hard to say this because they technically have. So they've done games where traversal was like a mechanic of the game, and it was part of like your interaction, and it was done extremely well. So they did that with the Batman Arkham series, and they did it extraordinarily well. Actually, like it was so much fun to swing around as Batman. Similarly, so much fun to swing around as Spider-Man.
Of course.
And the Spider-Man.
I think we got swinging down packed.
We do. Well, we sort of have flight down packed, but not quite. Like,
yeah. I don't know where though. But like who's doing flight good right now?
I'll say Warframe does flight really well right now.
Okay.
And Avengers does flight well enough. The biggest issue I have with the way they do flight is that they don't let you really go as fast as I feel like you should be able to. You can only go like
I feel like
a little bit above running speed.
I feel like Avengers is one of those games that it. Here's the thing about comic book games, and I'm super, super sorry, but when it comes to the game, there are limitations you don't realize that you actually need to have because it's a game versus if it's something like linear and you don't have to play.
Right.
And I think that I'm interested to see what Suicide Squad does a little bit. Because when we really look at it, I mean, other than Spider-Man, and even Spider-Man has limitations, but all the really good superhero games are based on humans with tech.
Pretty much, yes.
You know what I mean? Like, so I'm really interested to see what Suicide Squad is going to do, what Wonder Woman is going to do, and what Wolverine was a big one.
That was a big surprise, for sure.
That was a big surprise. But I'm interested.
I'm so
see what
interested.
Wolverine does, because you're really unstoppable.
I mean,
Like Wolverine,
basically.
I mean, unless we're going against Magneto here,
Right.
like, like, can anyone really defeat us? So I'm really interested to see what Wolverine does. Right? Yeah, I mean, right.
Human with
Guardians of
tech.
the Galaxy was good,
Yeah, that was
but
a big
Guardians of the
surprise.
Galaxy, that's another one that's like,
They're
that's a human.
superheroes, but yeah, they're superheroes, but they're like they're plausible superheroes, right? They're like
Right.
they could exist in our world,
Yeah,
and
it's not
like
like
they have
they're
real
like super
weaknesses,
super strength, right? Like that's
right?
the thing. Like the thing about weaknesses, um, and I think those make for great superhero games. So when we get out of the like, I don't know it. Like I think Suicide Squad is going to be good because a lot of those are like human-esque characters
Yeah,
that you are playing,
they have clear
and
limitations,
clear
like
limitations. Like you're gonna
defined
be playing like
clear limits.
Harley Quinn, dog. Like you're not playing Superman. Like you're playing Harley Quinn.
She has a hammer. She has a gun. She's
But
she has to wield it like a human.
right. So like there's that. I think those are the things that I think developers are starting to recognize. So that, like I said, I'm really interested to see what they do with Wonder Woman. I don't think Wonder Woman will be bad, but I definitely do think they have that in mind, and they probably have something for that.
I hope so because I'll be honest. I play a lot of Marvel's Avengers, a lot of it, specifically on
Oh, I know. I see you.
the blue websites.
I see you.
Yes. So there are a lot of things I do and don't like about that game. Aim bots being the thing I don't like the most. Like, if this is your solution to like making something difficult for us to deal with, like I'm over it already. Like, I don't want to go against a super adaptoid, which is just a bigger version of the adaptoid, which is just a bigger version of the regular fucking grunt enemies. That like,
It's more of the same. Yeah, it's more of the same.
listen, Coop, I'm not even struggling to enjoy the game. I actually really like the game. I play it a lot.
No, he does.
Yeah,
He does.
it has plenty of limitations and things that it could do better. But I also understand that, especially now, I've had some very interesting conversations with people that I can't say anything about. But a lot of the times when it comes to decisions made about things that we as fans, players, pundits, or analysts love, a lot of the times the people who are making those games also love and want to do the things that we want them to do, but they can't. Budget reasons, direction reasons, and influence reasons. So I think it's important for us as players to not only vote with our wallets. I know I say it all the time. A lot of people say it all the time, but like, we're going to get into this for a second because we talked about sports games before and how we don't play them anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
This is a huge problem with sports games because, especially when it comes to like Madden or FIFA, they don't have competition to force their hand to do things in a different way. All they have is the trust from the fans and the money from the fans and the buy-in from them. If there was a situation where Madden or 2K or FIFA saw upwards to 50% drops in their purchasing and in terms of like people buying their My Player stuff, or they're like, if people just stopped handing them their money for that shit, it would stop, or they would make it better because they would have to. But they're not.
They're not.
They're not.
They're
And that's the problem.
They're gonna do it.
That's the problem with, I want to say just people in general, but especially when it comes to sports games. And I used to be one of the people who bought sports games like every year. And then I realized, like, in between that time, like, why did I just spend $60 on incremental change? Not even an upgrade, a change that could have been like an update.
I do not every year. I think I would buy them at a 3-year. Well, I would say I know I bought live 06, 07, and 08, and I think that was the last live I bought.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say I did 96, 97, and 98 as well, and I think that was like that's kind of how I did it.
Yeah.
But like they were always the same game for the most part.
Exactly.
They were always the same game. And like after that, and I know everyone like kind of jumped on 2K and stayed on Madden and things like that. But it's like, I mean, come on, like we're playing the same game every year.
Yeah.
And that's why I mean, granted, like after a while the graphics got better and things like that, and yeah, you get new players here or there, but like there comes a time it's like you're starting to play the same game every year.
Yeah.
You're starting to play the same game every year.
100%. And I know someone was asking me about someone was saying in the chat, Coop, he was mentioning that a lot of people who bought Avengers weren't really happy with it. I'm not going to spend the time to like go over all the pros and cons now, just because we have other stuff we want to talk about in the podcast too. But do know that I'm happy to talk about it whenever the time comes. But in terms of games that people are excited about or not excited about, Rainbow, it's a new year, new opportunity for a bunch of games to release this year, many of which I'm excited about. I even say what my biggest surprise of last year was.
Yeah, what was it?
I had it on the tip of my tongue and now I completely forgot. All right, I think it was Halo Infinite.
Okay.
It was the biggest surprise, not in a good way though.
Really?
Yeah, so don't get me wrong, I actually love Halo. I love Halo Infinite. I really enjoy playing it. The biggest surprise to me was that after, 2 years of being delayed, it's still released in its beta form or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
Last year, it's still released without co-op.
Yeah, you know what? No one talked about that.
It released without any control over the playlists for multiplayer. It released without expansive character customization options, even though they've had a legacy of 6 Halo games prior. Not all of which, but many of which gave way more options and flexibility for how you can make your character, your avatar look.
And this was the beta release or the full December release? That they still don't have this going on.
Both. They still so the December release, they did finally make it so that you can choose the playlists, but only some of them. They didn't have all of them. They didn't have Team Tactical until I think it was the beginning of this year. They also like their battle pass was like really, 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 really bad. For the Tenrai event, especially, like they barely gave you any time to complete the challenges for it, and the challenges were like glitched and bonked and just all types of weird stuff. So honestly, like again, I know I just said a second ago like how it's really important for us to like not only vote with our wallets but be understanding of like developers, because oftentimes they want to do things that we want them to do in their games, but they just have their hands tied for whatever reason. I can't see the things that we wanted to be there from the get-go. I can't see that being one of those like publishers decided not to let them do it type of thing. Mostly because the other games before it did. Like they were already doing a lot of these things. Like co-op
so
was
you
already
feel like
in those other. It was in Halo 1.
They had that. Yeah, that was the date. They had to stick with that date. They couldn't delay it again, kind of a deal.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
From what I'm seeing on the internet, and what people are complaining about, I think that is the case. But I think people had to give it praise. I think people had to give it praise because they needed to win at the time.
Yeah.
Like honestly. They needed to win at the time, and I think looking back, like, because I don't remember seeing it again, like masterpiece reviews anywhere, but it definitely got high reviews. And I do feel like this would have been a game people were hoping for a masterpiece review.
Yeah.
Those 10 out of 10s, those 5 out of 5s.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, I think Microsoft was looking for a 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5.
Definitely.
Those reviews. Because I mean, you don't look at your competitors where you see Nintendo doing things like Breath of the Wild, where you see
They spent a long time on that game too. Long time.
Where you see Sony doing, for better or for worse, The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima. Right? Like,
you can keep going. I mean, like, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Right. So when you look at a Microsoft and you're saying, okay, and I mean, I'm pretty sure they had to have a masterpiece game, in my opinion. That you couldn't be running this long, being this successful, and all your games are just mediocre. That to me, that just does not make sense.
Yeah.
Then why the hell people are playing your game?
Right.
But I think this one is like such a favorite and such a beloved franchise, and I've never played it, right? And I want to play Halo. Like, I've never gotten to play Halo other than me being at my boy's crib, and where, what's the one back in the day everyone used to do with the rockets? You go around just shooting rockets at everyone, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what we used to do, right?
Yeah.
So I actually want to sit down and experience. Honestly, I want to sit down and experience Halo in its entirety. I think I'm gonna have to get a Series XS to do that, because Halo 5 is not on PC. So, and I know everyone's like, "Nah, you can skip that," but like, I still want to play through all of them. I want to at least experience it.
I get that. Halo 5 is it's not horrible, but it's not as good as
everyone tells me it's skippable. Everyone tells me it's skippable. Like, do not worry about it. Just get Game Pass, play it on PC. I was like, but I want to. I might go to GameStop and like see if I could buy a used like Xbox or something and return it within the week. See if I could beat that within a week.
That's great.
It's the whole system.
Strats.
It's the whole system. Yeah, the whole system with the game. Like, yeah, no. Yeah, and then come back like, nah, I just wasn't feeling it. I just wasn't feeling it. Don't do that, kids. That's not fair to
I hear nothing.
But yeah, I mean, I think that, and listen, I hear a lot of people loving this game. It's just a little weird that they didn't do co-op in the beginning, given that they had the extra year. I feel like they needed to go to the holiday, they needed that holiday window release, and they got it, and they got good reviews.
Yeah.
I think right now, in my opinion, there's a level of expectation on multiplayer games and how they release and the amount of bugs they're allowed to release in. And I think that sometimes developers and publishers know when to take advantage of that. So am I saying that they took advantage of that? I mean, I think they had to weigh their pros and cons, right? Like, does this dictate a pushback, or can we put it out and it will be acceptable and people know this is acceptable?
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was.
They got acceptable and good where they could have gotten amazing and great. And
yeah,
I also understand it's a business, so they're releasing the multiplayer for free, and then they're making the campaign, part of Game Pass.
Right.
So there's certain trade-offs there too.
And listen, I mean, not for nothing, but I think expectations of certain things are skewed when you don't necessarily have to pay for it.
That's true.
If that makes sense.
That's true. It's strategic.
So,
yeah.
Just saying. listen,
That's
yeah.
real. That's real. I mean, if we all had to pay $60 for this, we probably would have been a little upset. We probably would have been
You know what I
tight.
mean? Listen,
That's what
that
happened
goes
with
for anything.
Battlefield.
Yeah, yo, if you got to pay for something versus something being free, you might be a little bit. Listen, you might be a little bit more lenient. Like, you know what? We could probably look past this.
Yes.
You know, in certain aspects, not in everything. Listen, not in everything. I'm not saying like you could what they were about to deliver last year.
Nah, bro. Nah. If y'all launched with what you got now, and there was less there the year prior, bro. Like there was no way in hell. There was no way. Y'all probably knew that shit wasn't.
Yeah.
Y'all probably knew that shit wasn't good to go. Like 4 months prior to y'all delaying that shit. Like this ain't no more.
Listen. Especially at imagine if that and Cyberpunk released. Jesus.
Yeah, if Cyberpunk released earlier like it was supposed to, we would have never heard the end of it, bro. Like all the complaints that y'all had would have been amplified times 10. The way that shit looked on PlayStation 4 would have looked the same on PC. Like it's on a regular PS4, not a PS4 Pro.
Yeah, that was horrendous. That was horrendous.
I love that game, but goddamn.
Yeah, that was a rough one. That was a rough one. I got to the end. I mean, I had to have loved it because I got to the end and I thought the ending was great. I thought they could have done things.
The game was so good.
The story was great.
Yeah.
I think they could have done certain mechanics differently. I was expecting more than what they provided. And I realized why I was expecting more is because I went back and watched, I think it was a 2017 48-minute deep dive. And when they were showing the very beginning of that, when they were showing like you could go into the closet and like what you wear mattered in the world and like who you talk to and how things and they didn't give that to me, I was like, damn. Damn.
That hurts.
It is. Yeah, it is what it is. I was hoping for a way more immersive experience, but you know what? I still like the game.
Yeah, I feel that. I want to tie in talking about Avengers more because Coop in chat was asking like I want to really know like what you like about it, what you don't like about it. I'll do it at the end
Let's
that
talk
way.
About it.
You want to talk
about it? Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, I've played a little bit of Avengers. Not as much as you, but I at least got to. At this point, I'm at the Black Panther.
Okay.
Expansion.
Well, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Definitely.
Yeah. And listen, to be known. Remember, I'm a huge Stargate fan, and if anyone does not know, my man Black Panther, who is also my man Kratos, who is also my man Christopher Judge.
Yes.
Was, if no one knows, was my man D-Mob in Def Jam Vendetta.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And is my man. Oh, listen. That's another thing I'm going to be pushing very hard this year. Is Def Jam Vendetta. I'm going to be on Def Jam every day, tweeting Def Jam when are we getting Def Jam Vendetta. But it's also my man Tilk from Stargate SG-1. So I've been a fan of his for a long time. I think Avengers, the story is a good game. Like the story is a great game. And I see what they wanted to do with it. But I don't know if it was the right call. I don't know. I don't know. I am happy I got to play with the Avengers, right? Thor, Iron Man, all that. But I don't know if it should have been a game as a service game with the RPG elements of collecting this armor and that backbone spine and those kinds of things like that. The move sets and the upgrading and skills, I think that works. I think that works. But the gear, I don't know for that universe made sense.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing, right? That's the thing about development. And I think that developers really do need to start taking a larger look at what makes sense for their game and what doesn't.
Yeah.
Instead of like just throwing a whole bunch of RPG elements in games because they're RPG elements and people like to grind for loot. You don't need to grind for loot in every game. And I don't know or at least maybe I think the outfits would have been better suited, like how in Spider-Man it was.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that.
Where you have to unlock the outfits to unlock those other types of perks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Maybe something like that. Probably would have worked better.
I feel like
opinion.
Based on the way they were probably going to go with this, they were probably wanted to do that, and they got direction. Like, we can sell way more skins if we just make them cosmetic and make them available to just purchase. Because if you could just purchase those abilities or those perks, then that would make it pay to win.
Right. And it would be game breaking.
And I think so. I think it was a strategic move to do it in that way, but it sucks because like it would have made more sense for players. But like also like just being able to, if I pick up a piece of gear for Hawkeye and it's a new bow, it should be reflected in how the equipment and gear looks now, but it's not.
Exactly.
So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That was just kind of like to
you're
add on
good.
top
No.
of.
That's what it is. So like, I think that was more of my thing about that game than anything, because I had a lot of back and forth of like, could it have been a more modern DCUO? Right? Because they were going that way.
Yeah.
Like, if you really look at the premise, like the beginning of Marvel Avengers is the beginning of DCUO.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing.
But like, it sets up so well to just like, all right, here it is. Now here's the expansion of it.
Right. Like literally the only difference is that in DCUO, whatever that takes effect for what could have been Kamala Khan being the single player, anybody could be a player and you create your own powers.
Yep.
Right. So, and that's basically the Inhuman situation in Marvel Avengers. But they
100%.
wanted to tell a single player story, which is fine. I thought that was great.
They honestly, like, it doesn't get enough credit because I thought that it was a really well told story. And like the things that happen in it are unexpected, even for someone who's a fan of like, of the things you like.
I always wonder, like, if they would have told this single story the year they released, right, and told it like a Guardians of the Galaxy, and then came back the next year with the foundation and say, "Hey,
create your own
you
hero.
got the main story, create your own hero."
It was set up for that, right? I 100% agree. Like, I feel like everything that they were doing was leading up to something like that.
I think that would have been like, oh my God. And it would have worked well. Because I think that's I don't think DCUO is a bad game. I think it's an older game. And the graphics are dated. Right? Yeah. So if you have something like what Marvel Avengers is doing and you could have done that, oh my God, you got it.
Yep.
You got it.
Yep. It was an easy win. But there are certain things about this game that like infuriate me, drive me crazy, and I know they know that there are problems, and I know that they know that they want to tackle them. But I also know that there are limits to what they are. There are limits to what they are allowed to do at any given moment. So, like, for example, the fact that they released two... God, there are so many things I can say. The fact that they released two Hawkeyes at the same time as, like, content to be, like, meaty and, like, oh, yes, it's a big deal. This is some huge content. You gave me Hawkeye guy and Hawkeye girl, and then you expect me to be excited about that? like where you also mentioned the Kree as the whole lead up into the rest of the story, yet there has been no mention or there's been no effort or push to move us towards the Kree. Now we're talking about going into the future, and we have Maestro, who's Hulk, but with the fucking bald hairline. Like, all you have done at this point is given us the biggest blue balls possible.
That was an OP match, by the way. That was.
You like that? That was good. Yeah. Like, it was like egregious to the point where it was like, all right, like, why did you just do that? Because you were.
I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even want to play those back to back.
Yeah.
Like it took me a couple of months in between even though like when I got the game, those two were already available. Like that whole thing was already available. The only thing that wasn't available yet at the time I got it and I started playing was Black Panther.
Yep.
So I'm playing, and then I get to, Kate Bishop, and it's like, okay, this is cool. But then it's like, I gotta play Hawkeye now, and it's like, bro, like I'm doing the same thing I was doing. Like, I got
in the same environment too. Yeah.
Same environment.
And they both have a sword. They both have a katana. They both have a katana, and they both have a bow, and they both have different arrows that you can use with people. Bro.
I was like, I'm good. So it took me a while, and then like now I'm playing Black Panther, which is dope.
They did such a phenomenal job with that expansion, bro. Like you ain't seen shit yet, bro. Yeah.
Okay.
Like the environment.
I just got there to
it's
and all that.
Beautiful.
Oh my god, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
They did a phenomenal job. I think. Listen, I don't think there's nothing bad to say about the environment of this game. I don't think. Listen, there's nothing bad to say graphically about this game at all. I think they got everyone spot on.
There's some in chat already saying that they don't like the way the characters and costumes look.
I was gonna say, I know in the beginning that people listen. I think the thing about the characters is really that you've been looking at Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans for so long. Mm-hmm. I really do. I really, really, really 100% think that is really the issue. Mm-hmm. And I mean, people are gonna like it. People aren't gonna like it. I get it. I can't convince you otherwise. Mm-hmm. But I truly think that is the issue. And if this game would have came out before the MCU, no one would have an issue.
Not at all.
No one would have an issue with how the characters look. That's what I mean.
Yeah. I agree 100%. And it's something that I've been trying to say for a while too, because we've had 12, 13, 15 years with these characters, with these people who basically have taken on the mantle of these characters in such a impactful and like spot on way, to then see a version that is also super realistic but doesn't look like them. It's always going to feel weird no matter what.
Yeah.
And like they would have had to spend so much more money and time to then get the actors involved and get their likeness and get them in for facial capture and to get them involved in everything. Because the thing that people don't realize as well is once you've done all the voice lines for everybody who's in the game or everybody who's coming to the game shortly after, there are more characters that they're adding on top of the game, where they have to also record more voice lines after that because they're all interacting with each other. So like the quips that they have in between each other, or like while they're on the elevator talking to each other, I love that shit. I love the way they're bantering, the way they talk with each other, and like just like the fact that they feel like a family.
I think they did great writing.
Yeah,
I think they did great writing in that game.
Yeah.
But I do think, to your point, like when they're alluding to the Kree, and it's like, where is that? And even now, where it's like you don't know if they're going to continue, if what's the future of this game. Spider-Man was really the last character that they officially announced, and he got released, and they haven't said anything since then. So
they have. Well, I'll say an actor has said something that she probably wasn't supposed to say. Maybe she was. Maybe she wasn't. She-Hulk is coming to the game. I don't know when, but She-Hulk is
Well,
definitely
good.
on the way.
That means that this game is still alive and kicking. That's great. Because I haven't heard any new updates on this game, and I've been very skeptical, especially since who's the publisher? Square Enix,
Square Enix, yeah.
right? Didn't they bash Crystal
So they
a little
said,
bit, or a slight? It was a
yeah,
slight. It was a slight.
it was. So
It was a
basically,
slight.
they said that they had to take a step back and really like realize that, you know, certain pushing games to be something that they aren't is more damaging. It was something along the lines of that.
Didn't they also say something along the lines that
Asking a
didn't
developer to
think
do something that they don't do
no,
is
no, they
something that
didn't think right, like Crystal was the right studio for the game,
yeah. Well,
something to that nature.
yeah, they didn't say the crystal dynamics specifically, but they just said we have to be more careful about right fits
Yeah,
for our game.
yeah, it was a little slight. It
I
was
was
a
like,
little slight,
oh,
right? It was a little slight. I remember because they got some blowback. They
yeah.
got some blowback for that. So at that point, I was like, are they saying that they're But it is what it is.
So, Coop J, to your point, it's more than that because you're more familiar with the comics. They add
Oh,
a lot of the traditional costumes into the game as things that you can unlock for free. So, like the traditional
yeah.
Spider-Man outfit is there, like pretty much as soon as you start. The traditional Thor outfit, if you want to look like that, you can. They also have the MCU version of Thor in many different types of colors. Then they have the Avengers game version. Then they also
I
have
feel like I
like
feel like they have a lot of comic book versions as well.
they have a
Like if you,
ton.
yeah,
It's just the default costumes are different because they want to do something different with the game.
right.
So, like, if you
Yeah.
wanted to have Black Widow look basically almost exactly like she did from the comics, like you could do that if you want to, but that's not necessarily what they're trying to do here with the game overall. So, between that, they have like a loadout section on when you're looking at your character and looking at your gear.
Mhm.
There's a little icon at the top left that says loadout. And if you click it, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't take you to a loadout or any type of preset situation at all. And that's another example of something that's like they set it up to be there, and it's literally in the game. It's just not there for us to use. Like it's been that button has been there since launch. The game came out in 2020, and that button has been there since launch. And the fact that we
Doing
still
nothing.
don't have it now is,
Doing nothing.
and it's so there's a bunch of little things that are like that start to add up, and you're just like, oh my god, get your shit together. Like, for a
That's the
while,
thing, right? That's the thing we've been talking about, right? I think there's this expectation and this level of what can we get away with at launch nowadays.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm starting to think. Especially with these bigger AAA titles, right? I don't think smaller or indie studios really have that kind of luxury because once you drop it's sink or float.
Right.
If people ain't messing with it and you ain't got the market dollars to push it, like that's that. But like these bigger games, these bigger AAA titles. I mean, listen, Cyberpunk is probably the biggest debacle
Right.
we've seen in the last decade, and I could guarantee you, the revival of that game whenever it comes out later this year, next year, whatever, is probably going to do numbers and it's probably going to make noise.
Oh, 100%. 100%. They're like, all right, we get it. We're heads down, work on the shit.
Yeah,
We got you.
So it's one of those things.
Yeah.
How you feeling about Rainbow Six Extraction?
I haven't played it yet. I do have a code that I was supposed to get to on Monday, but I just didn't have the time to do it. It is going to be available on Game Pass, I believe, starting today. So if you're watching and haven't played it yet and you're interested to play it, know that it's on Game Pass and you'll have a chance to do that. I haven't played it yet, but I've been seeing a lot of mixed things.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's good. I ain't got 40 for it right now. And I ain't got Game Pass. Because I'm waiting for Horizon. But
that game's gonna be crack. I haven't seen any footage of Horizon Forbidden West at all, and I don't plan to. Not how one.
Wow. I mean, I at least saw like the original trailer.
Well, I saw the original like reveal, but that didn't really show us anything. Yeah.
I'm about to say, like, man, like you ain't seen nothing.
I know it's there. I know it exists.
You real. Like,
bro.
a real one, bro.
Listen, I already know I'm going to buy that shit.
Nothing.
I already know I'm copping that shit day one.
Yeah. For real. I actually have to beat Zero Dawn again. Jesus Christ. Because I beat it. But apparently when I got my PS5, my PS4 like died on me the same day. So I had to reboot my PS4, and it never uploaded the save version of me beating it. So now,
I thought you were saying it didn't upload at all. I was like, oh no.
No. So I'm still on the last mission, so I got to go back. I think I might be on the last two, and it did this same thing to me with Spider-Man, bro. Like I was Spider-Man, I was pissed because I had to go back. I had to spend an extra 2 hours to rebeat Spider-Man and do like all the little things I already did. Like, I was like, I got all. He's like, just give it to me. Just give it to me. Like, I know what happened. But I had to do that. I had to do those last 2 hours again, and I saw Horizon. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this right now. Yeah. I'll get closer when Forbidden West comes out. So yeah, I gotta actually rebeat. I'm on like the last mission. I'm definitely because I'm with the Sun King right now. I'm in Meridian, so I have to definitely be on the last mission. Yeah. If I remember correctly, I should definitely be on the last mission for that. So I could probably rebeat that within the next 2 weeks or something like that before Forbidden West comes out. Never got to play the DLC, but
I haven't played the DLC yet either, so I'm planning on doing that before Forbidden West comes out.
Okay.
Which I think Forbidden West comes out pretty soon, doesn't it?
Yeah, like next month.
Rainbow Six Extraction. All I know is that there's a lot of mixed reviews. I feel like the biggest drawback for me with that game is that like they kind of played around with the idea of it in a seasonal event they did in Rainbow Six Siege. And so they should have just expanded on that and made that a part of just Rainbow Six Siege instead of a new release. So I think that might be what's got people really confused as to like why they're almost reinventing the wheel, but doing the same thing that they did with that event.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Let me pull up a clip of it.
Okay,
I'm gonna pull up Case's stream.
Yeah, because he was playing that last night, right?
Or the night before.
Or the night, yeah. That's what it was. Because I was watching it.
Okay, so you got to. I didn't get to see him playing it. I just know that he was going in.
Yeah, I was watching it.
I didn't get to see him playing it.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about. Should it be a separate game? Should it be the same game? Because everything tells me the same game. Right? Yeah. Like everything in my heart tells me yes. But in this day and age, file sizes are a thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So and that's literally the only thing I'm thinking about, right? Like in this day and age, file sizes are king, right? Yeah. And the biggest complaint right now
with Warzone.
You already know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
The biggest complaint right now is literally Warzone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like when it comes down to it, everyone complains about Warzone's file size. So I always wonder, what if Warzone was never a separate game? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm here wondering, what is the amount of actual Rainbow Six Siege players that would be willing to play Extraction and would be willing to keep Rainbow Six Siege if the file size exceeded what they were willing to go for on their hard drive?
Yeah.
Granted, should this be $40? I mean, well, it's not $40 if you have Game Pass, but I don't know. Like, I'm wondering, could this have been a $20 game? Right. I think that's where I'm more lenient to, because it is from where I'm standing, like, or at least what I'm hearing, it's like it's a lot of Rainbow Six Siege, like they're using the same operators, the same mechanics. So the same like concept of this game is that, and then you flesh it out and give it a story. I hear the story is subpar.
Okay.
When it comes to co-op games like this, I would expect the story to be subpar. I'm not expecting no freaking phenomenal story. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah, you're more so playing to create your own stories in each interaction type of thing. It's less about Yeah.
I'm not expecting that, and especially like when you're playing with friends and everyone's just clowning around anyway.
Right.
Like that's literally how it be sometimes. It's like, nah. Like, what do you mean you're down?
Right. So what?
I need you to heal.
You fell down the stairs? I was like, is that what happened? Like,
playing with friends is fun. Playing with friends is fun. But sometimes you'd be like, dude, no, we're not. No, you're staying down. We're not. This is the third time.
Yeah.
You're back together.
Right.
But no, I hear a lot of this game. I saw the reviews. I saw how the mechanics work. It looks very interesting because, like, if you lose an operator, you have to redo that mission to gain that operator back. So, like, that's a really interesting premise and concept. So I mean, I'm very interested to play this game, to see how this game plays.
Gonna be able to starting today, chat. So get on it.
I think this is going to be a cool one. I'm gonna wait a little bit because I heard it's a little light on the content, but I always listen. Rainbow Six is always light on the content year one. Like, Ubisoft is always light on the content year one. Like, that's Ubisoft. Like, Ubisoft is light on content year one. And I get it. I mean, listen, you wanna drip feed the content, so by the time you get to year 4, because that's literally their game, year 4, year 5, you have a plethora of content. So, and everyone's like, this is the best game ever. And it's like, it's arguably one of the best games ever. Like, you like, yo, like, you didn't play Siege? Like, it's 2022. Like, we still talking about Siege?
I mean, it's still a good game, though. That's the thing. Like, it's still, at the end of the day.
Right? Like, exactly. And that's typical Ubisoft games. Like, like, I'm playing Breakpoint right now. Like, Breakpoint is still coming out with dope content. Like, they just released new content for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Like, what?
I didn't even know that. Wait, no, they have
the crossover DLC.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Odyssey. Like, wait, Odyssey was like 3-4 years ago. Like, I've never even heard that from an Assassin's. Like, this is what Ubisoft does. So it's literally like, it's what I expect from Ubisoft at this point. Like year one, I don't even expect a plethora of content anymore. I don't.
I feel that. Make sure y'all go check out Rainbow Six Extraction.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Shout out to Crow Quesadilla for providing the gameplay vibes we need to show y'all what the game is about. But there's still, I feel like talking specifically about the Activision thing is what we should do.
Let's go. Let's
just do it. So
this is what everyone's been waiting for anyway.
This is the moment that everyone's been waiting for. What are your reactions to Microsoft buying Activision? Like just straight up raw, like first thoughts.
Give me your. What the fuck? That was my first thought.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Seriously.
I'm very much. I try not to think about the negatives and things too quickly when something happens or something's announced or, like Wonder Woman game, right? For example, like my first thought wasn't going to be, oh, this is going to be trash. It was, I wonder how this is going to go.
Yeah.
And like I've been trying since hearing this to like use that same lens.
Where were you when you heard this?
I was home. I was here. I think I was.
Were you like sleeping? Like, were you like just waking up? Or were you like already like out and about kind of doing things?
I was awake and I think someone mentioned it in like an off-cuff comment about something. It was like, yeah, it's like, no, I think it was an off-cuff comment that someone made either on Twitter or somewhere else. It was like, yeah, it's like Activision buying Microsoft now. Like, fuck me, I guess. And that's how I heard about it. And I was just like, what are you talking about? And so I look it up and then I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like
this is like a random Tuesday.
It was just a Tuesday. It was a loose day Tuesday.
Random Tuesday.
So you mentioned earlier how Microsoft needs that win. They need to have like those games that are just like I'm like, you got to be in our ecosystem one way or another. This is it.
Yeah, that one is it.
And that's yes, but at the same time, like buying publishers. Is that our play now? Is that just what we do? Like when we can't figure out how to make our own good shit?
All right, hold
buying studios versus buying publishers.
Yes, and I've made this argument with a lot of people online for the last 2 days. Before we get into it, okay. So here's me, and this is crazy because this is me on the Monday, right? The Monday, I'm on Twitter and someone posts something about Sony and how Sony is, turning the company around, and they went from, being almost, I'm not saying an abysmal, but like there was a time the previous decade, not the PS4 generation, during the PS3 generation, Sony, the company itself was in a bit of a turmoil. The investors were calling for Sony to sell off Sony Entertainment, which is the movie, film, television, and music division. They had to get rid of Bio. They were getting rid of, the Bio computers. They had to get rid of the phones. Like they weren't doing great as a company.
Mm-mm.
And the article came out and it's saying like how they, kind of turned it around, and now, their films are doing better. Their music is doing better. They signed a lot of great talent, Little Nas X, and their movies are doing really good. And PlayStation turned it around from the PS3 to the PS4.
If it wasn't for the PlayStation brand, Sony might have gone bankrupt.
They might have. They really might have. And this article came out on Monday. So and I'm like, yeah, like this article came out on Monday. And I remember someone tweet like, yeah, that's crazy. Like they're really doing good. And the person who tweeted about this is more heavier in the music aspect. And I know Sony Music is doing really good right now. Like they're doing phenomenal right now. But I was like, yeah, my problem still is Sony itself is still very siloed, and that's going to be a big problem for them because you can't have a company like Sony, which is a industry leader in entertainment, and that makes industry leading video games
Mm-hmm.
and has great television and film presence. Because it's not like they make bad television. They make great television. People just don't know that they make great television
They don't
because it's on
realize.
every other.
Yeah,
That's the thing,
they
right?
have a
Like
lot of shows.
House
Like,
of Cards.
yeah,
Yo, they got a lot of like shows you wouldn't even like. Wait, that's so like yeah, like they have a lot. Breaking Bad, House of Cards,
I didn't know
like
Breaking Bad
yo,
was Sony. That's dope.
the Boondocks, like yo, it's so crazy. Exactly,
I
it's
didn't know
so
that.
crazy. Exactly, like you see what I'm talking about right now, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
people do not know the amount, like the plethora, Blacklist, like all these shows. So when you look at like, yo, like why are they so siloed? Like you've been talking about putting a certain games as movies for years. You couldn't do it. They're finally starting to do it now with Uncharted. Say what you want about Uncharted, they're doing it.
I
Whatever.
saw the
I'm not
preview.
gonna
I don't mind what they're doing with it, but
exactly right. So I'm like, whatever. But they're finally doing something, right? They're finally saying, okay, let's coexist. But I think they could have been done more, right? And they could have been a leap. Like I feel like if they would have already had their own platform back in 2015, like I think they should have, they could have probably had The Witcher instead of Netflix. I think they would have had more. I really do think they would have had more video game-esque type properties.
I hear you. I hear you.
In all honesty, because they would have already been the brand leader for that. But hey, and this came out Monday. So when Tuesday happened,
What were we even ready for?
I woke up to this news.
Mm.
So I just wake up and I go on Twitter and it's like 8:45. And I'm like, I don't know who broke. No. I think Bloomberg. I saw someone retweeted Bloomberg. I don't know who it was, but someone retweeted Bloomberg saying Microsoft just acquired Activision for upwards of 70 mil. And 70 billion. Sorry, 70 mil. Oof, anyone could do that. 70 billion. And I was like, wait a minute. I woke up. I was like, wait a minute. What just happened? What just happened? And Twitter went crazy. It's the first time in a long time I've seen gaming at this capacity on CNN, NBC, every freaking news outlet there was. It was going on so much today. Yo, I've never even seen Bloomberg hold the spaces. Bloomberg was holding spaces on Twitter today. Excuse me, talking about this. I was like, this is the biggest news ever because everyone's like, yo, what is going to happen with obviously you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Call of Duty. What is going to happen with that is the question on everyone's mind, and it still is. Even though Phil Spencer tweeted something today, like maybe an hour or so ago from when we recorded this, and it's still
I don't know if I fully buy everything he said. So like,
take from it as you will.
He doesn't want to. Here's the thing: he doesn't want to remove access to other players.
I get it.
So like for PlayStation, he doesn't want to remove access from Call of Duty franchise or legacy titles from other platforms. Because at the end of the day,
right.
they spent the money to buy that whole publishing company. They're still going to get money from whatever royalties or sales on other platforms, regardless.
You're still going to get it,
but it still doesn't mean that people are going to go to Xbox for it.
Man, I mean, listen. Call of Duty, and I had to look this up, but Call of Duty was like the #1 game last year. Call of Duty Vanguard and Cold War, by the way. number one and number two.
Just fucking.
According to what's our leader that gives us these numbers? The NPD. I don't know.
Yeah. NPD numbers. Yeah.
According to them, because I looked it up yesterday. Number one and number two. I don't remember. I think Vanguard's number one. Whatchamacallit for the entire 2021. Those were the numbers, or those were the leaders. Number one and number two. And I saw that, and I was like, well, damn. Everyone keeps telling me that Call of Duty's on decline, but I don't see it.
It's on decline compared to what it used to be. So I feel like with how often people are buying and playing games, it should have sold a lot more than it did. And the same goes for Cold War. Like between Cold War and Vanguard, those two games sold less than Modern Warfare did. So,
but I mean, they're still selling more than everything else. So it's like, if you remove those from PlayStation, and I don't have the exact numbers. Everyone keeps telling me it's like anywhere from 30 to maybe nearly half of those sales come from PlayStation.
I would imagine at least half, like half PlayStation, like 30% Xbox, 20% PC. I feel like it maybe be like 40%. You know, I don't know.
So
there's a lot of PlayStation players. Yeah,
there's a lot of PlayStation players. If you completely remove, and here's my thing. When I read the initial statement from Phil, or not read, because there was like a 2-minute video talking about, and I swear I think he was speaking to Congress on this. I don't think he was speaking to the players, but he was straight up, where he was saying we're gonna put as many Activision games on Game Pass as we can. When I heard that statement, because Twitter was already saying COD is going on Game Pass.
Oh yeah, I believe it is.
I didn't think COD is going on Game Pass. When I heard that, I was like, no. Ain't no way they make it an exclusive to Xbox and put it on Game Pass.
It's going to be one of the two.
All this money. It's going to be one of the two. I don't care, because you don't have to do both if you're going to make it exclusive.
No.
For what? Why should you?
Yeah.
Double dip.
I mean, they did it with Halo, though. They made Halo on Game Pass, and that's
Halo.
People buy
Halo
Xbox for Halo.
Yeah, yes, but Halo hasn't. Here's the thing.
I know what you're gonna say. I agree. Yeah, say it. But I'm with you.
Halo 5 didn't do so well, right? Halo 4 had mixed reviews. Halo, in and of itself, is gonna sell units, but that's your flagship. That's your leading brand. So for you to not put Halo on Game Pass, it almost makes it seem like Game Pass isn't worth, especially after all this day one stuff, right?
Yeah.
Call of Duty, even though they're going to be a first party game now, it's not going to click in everyone's heads for a couple of years. They're a first party game.
No.
Especially not to the casual.
No, definitely not.
Especially not to the casual.
Listen.
So why do you need to put it on Game Pass if you could sell it for $60 and still sell Game Pass?
I'm with you, but I think that we've been spoiled by Warzone because it's free and it's accessible to anybody who has whatever. So just being able to play Warzone on your PS5, just boot it up, call it a day. That's one thing, right? The accessibility to their new flagship thing, which is Warzone, essentially. Right. Everyone has access to it. The second thing is they're not out of the water with regards to people boycotting their IPs and all the negative attention that their IPs have been getting because of the issues that they've been having legally and ethically. I don't know if people like purchase wise have stopped buying it as much because of that, but I know it's had an impact for sure because I don't even stream it anymore.
Yeah.
And like their sales are on the decline.
Yeah.
So between
Yeah.
them doing World War II again and all the stuff that's been happening with their company, their stocks are lower than they've ever been. The value of the company is lower, essentially. Putting it on Game Pass would mean that more people would be playing it, maybe not buying
Right.
it, but playing it.
No, I agree. I definitely, I think at best, and this is my opinion, I think at best, they would have given you a discount if you had Game Pass.
Okay. Okay.
At best, because they do have games that are, I even think, Xbox exclusive type games that they do that with. So I think that's that probably, at least for the, because you got to recoup that money, right?
That's
you
a lot of money to spend. A lot.
And
$70 billion.
Yeah, and I hear what people are saying about, oh, you just put it on Game Pass because after 4 months you'll make it. But first and foremost, if you have an Xbox, right? If you make it an Xbox exclusive, meaning, and this is what I mean by Xbox exclusive, right? You don't put it on Steam. You don't put it on Steam. You know I've been screaming this. I've been screaming this, right? So you really make it like, yo, you have to go to Microsoft to get Call of Duty, no matter what, right? If they do that, you don't need to put it on Game Pass. You don't. At that point, people are going to still either buy the game and then probably even get Game Pass just off because think about it. If you end up buying an Xbox because all you want to play is Call of Duty and you don't want a PC,
which is a lot of people.
I could spend $60 flat on the game, or I can spend $47 if I have Game Pass, and maybe also get discounts on things from Warzone, right? Because that's what they do with a lot of their add-ons too. If you look, especially, listen, they do it with all the Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
All the Minecraft stuff is discounted if you have Game Pass. So it's not with Game, like you can't get it with Game Pass, but you could definitely buy it.
Okay.
So I think that would be the play, because at the end of the day, people are just going to get Game Pass. And on top of that, you at least need Xbox Live to play it.
That's true. So, I mean, if you're going to get Xbox Live, you might as well get Game Pass, because it's going to come with it.
So why do they need it? And that's what I was saying. Like, why do they need to put it on Game Pass? Like, they kind of already alluded to, they may not put this thing on Game Pass. We're going to put as many games as we possibly can. I don't think that's a game that they can possibly put and say that they're going to recoup their money and make it exclusive. That I don't think. I mean, listen, they can. It's their money. It ain't my money, right? Like, they could wholeheartedly do it.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about nothing. Listen, if they go on Game Pass, I'm like, man, good for them. They did that. Like,
they did that.
I'm gonna be shocked.
Yeah.
They did that.
Yeah. So
but I don't think that's something they could do.
I think they could
and
do
not
it.
be on PlayStation.
Well, yeah.
And like, it's one or the other, and not be on PlayStation. That's what I'm saying.
I think what they're
not be on PlayStation.
I think what they're going to do, because they know that the backlash would be pretty significant, I think what they're going to do is they're going to make it available on Game Pass. Obviously, having a Game Pass in an Xbox means you just automatically get the game. If you want to play it anywhere else, you have to buy the game. That's going to Microsoft's bank account regardless.
Anyway, right.
And I think they will start offering a bunch of discounts for having Game Pass as well. Because let's be honest, like the reason they have Game Pass is because they want you on their subscription model. They realize that some people only buy one game, period, or one game per year. So they can get more out of those people over the course of a year and a half, or even over the course of a year than they will have gotten if they just didn't do anything at all. And for the rest of us, like there's only so many games we can play at any given time anyway. So like
I always say that.
you do always say that. And so
like, but everyone tells me Game Pass is the greatest thing. I'm like, I know, but how many games are you really gonna play though?
yes. And so that's the thing. Like it's now become like an automatic thing that you just get. Like Amazon Prime, for example. Like a lot of people Netflix. Like some people don't even watch Netflix for a whole month, but like you still paying that subscription. They still got you.
I barely watch Netflix. Let me tell you this is what I think Xbox Game Pass is going to be, and people think I'm crazy, but like, and I know what they're doing. I know what they're doing because Netflix does it, right? Like, listen, there are people who do not watch Netflix for months, 4, 5 months, have not touched their Netflix. But you tell someone you don't have Netflix, they're going to look at you crazy. You don't have Netflix?
What do you do?
Like, what do you do? Like, yo, like they will, and that's what's going to be Game Pass.
Yeah.
Because right now, let me tell you, yo, my Twitter is every other day. Game Pass is the greatest thing in gaming. It's the great, like, bro. Come on, dog. Like, yo, like I get it. Like I'll be like, yeah, I'm playing. It don't even matter, bro. I'm like, yeah, I'm playing It Takes Two today with the wife. Hey, did you know Game Pass is the greatest deal in gaming?
Bro, like, is Take Two? Is it Take Two? Is that on Game Pass? No.
Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? So, but that's really what it is right now, and it's really going to be, especially now with the Call of Duty thing. I for sure at this point, especially if it does decide to stay on PlayStation, at least for the first few years, everyone's talking about contractual obligations. I don't know how long, the deal with Sony and Activision was.
Because they did have a deal for a while.
Right. Next year will mark a decade.
Destiny was going to be exclusive.
Right. Destiny was going to be exclusive. Man, look at Bungie. Bungie would have been dealing with Microsoft again. That would have been awkward. That would have been really awkward.
That would have been real weird. That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I definitely think at this point, I think that Call of Duty will probably be on Game Pass. At this point, the games that won't be on Game Pass will probably be things like World of Warcraft, stuff like that. More of their PC catalog, in my opinion, I think may not make it to Game Pass PC. A lot of people are talking
Overwatch.
I think Overwatch will. I think Overwatch definitely.
It needs to at this point because Overwatch 2 has been in development hell, and they just need more games, just more numbers of games, even if they're not good.
Will Diablo 4 come to PS5? Right.
Interesting question.
Were there deals in place for Diablo 4? Were there deals for Overwatch 2?
Maybe that's why we ain't heard nothing in a while.
So I don't. A lot of people have been speculating. You're never going to see a COD again on PlayStation. We don't know how long these contractual agreements were for.
Yeah,
like I said, next year is going to make a decade. It might have only been a decade deal.
It would be stupid of them not to launch it, because here's another thing too, right? Like,
you never know if. Go ahead.
Xbox Game Pass is only on Xbox and PC. It's not even on PlayStation, and who knows if there's ever plans for it to ever come to PlayStation. So
A lot of people are saying that would be the way that Call of Duty gets on PlayStation.
Is that you have to have Game Pass. You got to pay Microsoft that money.
Game Pass will make its way to PlayStation.
How would you feel about that?
Halo on my PlayStation.
Say less. Yeah,
I can play Gears of War on my PlayStation.
Yeah. I honestly feel like Microsoft wants it.
I think they do. The real issue, in my opinion, and I think that's gonna have Sony worried.
Oh yeah,
is third party.
Because people are gonna stop buying games on PlayStation and just buying Game Pass. That's through Xbox. Maybe PlayStation gets a little bit of royalties since it's on their platform, but like,
right? How much is it eating? Right? I mean, because listen, this it's interesting because I think, for all intents and purposes, when you're on someone's platform, you have to look at the Apple Epic deal, right? You have to look at that deal and the conclusion of that deal and why Fortnite is no longer on any Apple devices.
I hear it's coming back, but yeah,
they're trying to find loopholes. I don't know. Listen. You gotta pay them people.
Yeah,
it is what it is. Everyone pays you when on the Epic Game Store. You gotta pay them people when you go to the PlayStation. Or I'm sorry, on iPhone, right? Like, you gotta pay them people. It is what it is. The subscription-based model is the model. Now, I think it's gonna ultimately be about who gets what publisher on their platform. I think that's because that's the model right now for video, not for audio, right? Like music, like whether it's, and they've tried it, but like whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, whatever, everyone has the same more or less portfolio of artists and albums. But when it comes to film and video, typically, like, some overlap, but you definitely have those originals and things like that from Netflix, Hulu, obviously, Disney and Amazon Prime. So I think we're gonna start to see more of that. Maybe whatever PlayStation comes out, because PlayStation has to come out with a new subscription model. I think they're going to be living in the past if they don't, right? And if they do,
their PlayStation Now, I think they're pretty much set up to just combine PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now into one thing. Like, if they just did it, like, even if people didn't really use that function of PlayStation Now, just the fact that they have it means that's
and listen, I think it's going to be way more robust on PlayStation Now, especially with them really pushing more for PC. My opinion, I think the push for PC is because of PlayStation Now. I don't think it's just to get games on PC.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's really so that if you don't want to stream the game, you could download the game, just like you could already do on PlayStation.
Right.
On your PS4, PS5. I think literally that's what they're trying to do. So when it comes down to that, then what does it look like in the future if Xbox does want to bring Game Pass to PlayStation? Can PlayStation bring whatever their service is to Xbox? And then who's first to market on mobile devices? Because that's really where it's at. Where it's at.
Xbox and PlayStation technically are doing it. They're just not really
If it ain't like Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime, baby, it's not there. It's not there.
People ain't
It's
talking
not.
about it much because they.
Yeah, no, everyone on Xbox is arguing with me like, oh, but you could go on the website. Like, is it an app? No, it's not there. Right? PlayStation. Oh, you could, you can, because I do it. I do remote play. But is it an app? No, it's not there.
Yeah.
Right? Like
It
once
connects
it's
to
an
your
app
PlayStation.
once it's an app that you can subscribe to, that you can definitively play, then we're good to go. Other than that, and I think that Sony is in a better position, but at the same time, Sony is siloed.
Yeah.
Like, Sony, like, what are you doing? Because you make the damn cameras for iPhone. Like, why are we, how are you making cameras for iPhone? You have PlayStation, and you don't bring your PlayStation guys along and say, hey, like, we'll lessen the camera deal for you if you could get our apps in the App Store. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of things like they should be doing. And like, they're like, oh no, PlayStation, you guys stay over there. We're gonna make these cameras, and we're gonna get the most for these cameras from Apple.
Right.
Like, no, like, leverage. Like,
use what you got going.
Yeah, use what you got. Like, you got other things too. Like, you could utilize that. You could utilize your partnerships. And these guys are like, no, we're gonna stay on our corner. You stay in your corner.
I think
think that's the problem with PlayStation.
Didn't Sony also publish The Matrix?
No, that was Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers. That's what it was. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Warner Brothers. But I mean, like I said, they have a lot of IPs. The thing is, they're a tech and entertainment giant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the talks have been that this Microsoft deal is really going to kill PlayStation. It's really going to kill Sony because they lost $20 billion in market cap in a day because of this deal, right? $20 billion. I think they have strong enough IPs. I don't think it's about the IPs. In my opinion, it's really about leveraging, because listen, in the past decade alone, Sony has not had the best track record in product lineup as we think, right? Like, they had the PS4 and they had great games. But when you look at product and service lineup, I'm talking about the last decade alone.
I will say,
I wrote these down.
The tech enthusiasts, the camera enthusiasts, for example, like, Sony's been doing amazing stuff with their cameras in the last 10 years. But when it comes to your TVs, like, I got a Sony TV recently, and it's a dope TV, but if I just had a little bit more money, like more budget to get the LG OLED version of that, like, I would have.
Right. But I'm even talking about just PlayStation alone, right? The PlayStation brand alone, since 2012, right?
Okay.
So since 2012, you released the PlayStation Vita, right? Which, right?
Okay, yeah.
Then you go and say in 2013, you got the PS4. Phenomenal product, right? And we're just talking about products and services.
Yeah.
But then in 2014, you released the PlayStation TV, which was that micro half debacle, which, like, great idea, right? Great idea. I thought, like, okay, if you sell this product for $100, you could get more PlayStation brands in people's homes. But why does this not have Netflix? Why does this not have Hulu? Like, if we could market this,
why
as
can't I use a PS4 control on it? Why can I only use a PS3 controller
why is it on
PS3?
Yo!
But you just released the PS4 and, like, it's just incompatible?
Right? So half ass, right?
Yep.
Like, so you're starting to understand, right? And then 2014 again, PlayStation Now. This one I don't think was a bad idea. I think it was too early.
It was
too early. 2014.
Yeah, no, that people's internet, you know all about infrastructure. Yeah. People's internet hasn't been able to really deal with it the way that they've been.
Not there in 2014.
No.
It just was not. It just was not.
It still ain't here now. I have issues with it. We just had issues with our internet earlier. It's still ain't
right
here
now, right?
Yeah.
2015, they announced PlayStation Originals. This is the first time they start flirting with the idea with Sony Pictures to start doing original media content. They release Powers Bombs. Powers, not Power. The comic book strip, not Ghosts.
I just never watched Powers, but I heard it was decent.
It was decent. Season 1 was season 2 was gonna get better, but they canceled and they threw that whole thing away. 2016, you get the PS4 Pro, great product. 2016 again, PSVR.
I mean, people who got the PSVR loved it.
First iteration, I'll let you slide. But then you do PlayStation View, which in my opinion was probably the worst idea that they could have actually done with the PlayStation brand. And this is what I'm talking about, right? Like, this is the one where you have all these IPs in film and television to do what Netflix is doing in 2015, right? But you decide to create an alternative cable competitor? Like, the name, and you know how much I bash Sony marketing. The name was amazing. So PlayStation View, VUE, like that. The name was amazing. But you say the cable's already damn near dead. Like, who wants cable? We're paying $50 for channels we don't even want when you could have came out with a video on demand service with the Boondocks and all this. Come on, man. And it's not like your shows were and you had and this is what I'm talking about, siloed, because they had, at the time, they had Crackle.
Oh, I remember that.
And the shows were not bad. You know how I know the shows weren't bad? Because every time the shows went to Netflix, they hit top damn 10. Comedians in cars getting coffee. The Startup. Like, wow, those hitting top 10 on Netflix, and you had them for years. You had it for years.
I mean, people didn't know about View, A. B, they weren't prepared to pay for another subscription service. And C, that's pretty much it.
You know what I mean? Like I think that's, and then you get, PlayStation PC in 2021 right now, which I think is a great idea. But, like, they've been doing things in silos and not talking to their neighbors. And it's like, that costs money.
Yeah.
They lost money.
Yeah, they losing money by not, like, using their own services together. Money. Yeah.
Real, like, millions upon millions. I'm sure they lost millions upon millions of dollars of everything in the last decade. But the games were great. The games were great. So what I'm saying is, what in my opinion, what is going to hurt Sony this decade is if they continue to be siloed, right? They continue to not use what they got, and they think all they could do is just put out games. Because what's going to happen is they're going to continue to lose money, meaning they can't put money and invest in better games, right? And right now, the competitor is about to outpace them because they have now way more studios than Sony does just by buying them.
Well, technically, yeah. Well, so this is the first time Microsoft bought a publisher.
Second.
Who else did they buy? Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Bethesda.
Yeah.
And this is like in 18 months.
Yeah, no, they're out of pocket and wild for that, though, honestly. Like, the audacity to, like, sit there and say, because they bought studios before, and they bought IPs, and each of those, I'm not going to say all of them have failed, but, like, none of them have really, like, grabbed us by the neck. The same, that little vein in your neck that's, like, right here. Like, none of them have grabbed us right here.
They were playing the Sony game. Sony was doing the same thing, right? Like, Sony would buy the studios that would make PlayStation exclusives, right?
But they would do it Guerrilla, when they made something exceptional for them. It wasn't just like, look at here.
Right? Yeah. Like look at that. They finally bought freaking
Naughty Dog,
right?
Those were all independent studios until Sony was like, yo, y'all make some dope shit. Would you like to just keep making dope shit for us?
For us? Exactly.
And then that was it.
Exactly. Right. So, but I think that Microsoft started to kind of do the same thing, but or at least with
They
the
tried.
IPs, right? Like Halo. Yeah, they tried. But it didn't work out for them the way that it worked out for Sony.
Definitely not. Definitely
So
not.
I think at this point they were like, F it. F it, bro. Like, hey, Bethesda. Y'all trying to get y'all trying to
couch.
y'all trying to get this money?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got some money for y'all.
Yeah, we got you, bro. Just
Hey,
make some dope
Activision.
shit.
Yeah, y'all trying to make this money? Oh, yeah, no, we got some money for y'all, right? So, and people are right now saying like, listen, they only need one more. They only need one more.
Listen, if it comes down to this, all I'm saying is if Sony buys Capcom and Konami, it is a wrap. Now I say
I know people
Konami.
want that.
I say Konami because like they're sitting on a lot of shit that has gone uncontested and untouched for a decade.
For a while.
Yeah,
For a while.
like just for a grip.
For sure.
Castlevania, Silent Hill, Metal Gear Solid, Bomberman. Like there are a bunch of Konami IP, Ghosts and Goblins. I mean, I don't know if people care about that shit, but like there's a bunch of like Konami IP and like they have a Pro Evolution soccer game that was actually really good. If they really were trying to like actually make some dope games, Konami could, but they are too. They got their hands too far on their ass.
Is Microsoft is eyeing EA.
First of all, you need some.
Microsoft
you got some balls on you to try to get EA too. That is some.
Microsoft is eyeing EA. They are so far in bed with each other. It's like might as well just happen already. So if that deal goes through,
yeah, that's going to be tough.
I don't think there's.
The only thing Sony would be able to do is just keep doing what it's doing and just focusing on quality. Because like at that point, like Apex Legends, Battlefield, fucking.
What are you doing?
Madden.
You can't like people are flirting with the idea. Oh, can Sony either do a true partnership with Take-Two or acquire Take-Two? But I don't think Take-Two. I know. Listen, Take-Two would be a good one. I think Take-Two, in my opinion, would be a good one.
Because they have Rockstar, don't they?
Yeah,
they have Rockstar under their umbrella. That's GTA and Red Dead, and GTA is probably the biggest game, like period.
Gearbox, right? Hangar 13, 2K. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
yeah. If you ever need a game to really sit here and rival freaking Call of Duty, it's not going to be another shooter, buddy.
Nah, it's not. It's not.
It's going to be 2K. Let's be very clear on
or FIFA, honestly, because like
FIFA,
the casuals love FIFA.
Like what are they really gonna play? Like FIFA, Madden, 2K, Call of Duty, like that. Those are your games, right? And so what are you? That was the number one game on PlayStation. I think this year was 2K. The number two was Call of Duty. So, like, if you ever need, like, numbers...
Wow.
Like, just raw numbers...
This literally goes back to that whole point I was making about if you don't like something, don't buy it. Why y'all keep buying this shit if you don't like it?
Hey, listen.
Oh, people just don't use the words.
And let's be honest. There are players that are going to flock if Call of Duty is an exclusive to Xbox. But if 2K was an exclusive on PlayStation, people would flock there. It is. Listen, I know people who have flocked there. Like people who have Xboxes and PS5s and used to play 2K on Xbox have no one to play with because everyone who plays 2K is on PS5 and they just
ended up getting into PS. If you can get one, if you can find one.
So yeah, I mean, I think those are the options to weigh right now. But yeah, I think PlayStation should really just focus on what they have. I mean,
There's stuff that we don't
I
even
don't.
know about that they're working on, and I have no doubt about it that the shit that they're working on that is in works is just going to be dope because like they know they understand on a fundamental level like what it takes.
Their games are dope.
Yeah,
Their games are dope.
yeah,
Period. Their
yeah,
games are dope. Period.
yeah.
Everything else questionable, but their games, their games are dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, listen, I this acquisition really opened the eyes of a lot of people. Yo, it's starting to draw some lines, I think. But I think we'll have to wait and see to see what Microsoft actually does with Call of Duty. Call of Duty's on decline. Listen, people have been saying a lot of things. Oh, this acquisition will Microsoft won't make Call of Duty an annual thing. This
I hope that
acquisition,
happens.
right? Like, and listen,
I doubt it probably, but like I don't know.
$30 billion. That's what y'all telling me. Y'all hold on. Y'all telling me this thing is gonna be on Game Pass? It's not gonna be annual.
That's a hope. That's a hope that it's not annual anymore. Like I need
Yo,
some.
like I'm not gonna lie. Like y'all want a lot.
I'm still trying to unlock
Y'all
camos from
want a
Modern
lot.
Warfare, bro. I'm still trying to unlock those camos. Like, why do I have 2 extra other games that I gotta worry about now that all have their own
Like
separate?
y'all wanna listen. Y'all want a lot for $70 billion, dog. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. Like
That's true.
y'all want a lot. Like I get it. And listen. I wouldn't be surprised if it was on Game Pass. I would be surprised if it wasn't an annual game. I'm not gonna even sit here in front of me. Like if they say that thing is not annual and they out here paying $70 billion, oh, Microsoft, y'all got that. Bravo. Hey, y'all changed the gaming industry. I'm not even worried about it no more. Y'all did that. Because ain't no way you telling me, first and foremost, 50 of that 70 billion is Call of Duty. Let's be 100% clear. Like it
What
ain't
else is it gonna
Diablo,
be?
it ain't World of Warcraft, it ain't
What?
Overwatch, it ain't no. Not no damn PC only title. No. I would have maybe gave you Overwatch. I know the player base on World of Warcraft. Believe me, I get it. I get the love for World of Warcraft. I get it. But my guy, World of Warcraft is not doing Call of Duty numbers on an annual basis. Nothing is doing Call of Duty numbers on an annual basis. 50 of that 70 mil is Call of Duty. Of that 70 mil
I was
is Call
going
of
to
Duty.
say half at least, because they got a lot of other IPs in there.
Of that 70 mil is Call of Duty. All right? The other 18 is the other game. I said what I said. All right? I said what I said.
Here's a closing question.
No way.
Here's a closing question. What is an Activision game? Because Phil said that he's looking to, hopefully in one way or another, bring dormant Activision games back. I heard there's a rumor.
Go ahead.
I heard that as a. I don't remember if that was exactly what he said or if that was a.
Did you? Yeah, I've heard things along those lines. What have you heard any kind of games? Because I haven't heard what games.
But I haven't heard what games. I just heard that stuff. But what would you want it to be?
I mean, Tony Hawk is one that everyone keeps saying. I'm interested to know if Activision still has rights to create new Tony Hawk games, though.
They did a remaster.
Right, but like,
yeah, it's a remaster of the old shit. Yeah,
right. I'm interested to know if they pulled a Ubisoft with like Tom Clancy where they have like indefinite rights to create those kinds of games, right?
Yeah.
With Tony Hawk, and even like John Madden, like the Madden name itself.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have indefinite rights to NFL, but like, Madden. If that's the same thing with Tony Hawk, or if another studio publisher can create a Tony Hawk, maybe not call it Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but Tony Hawk something else, right? I'm interested to know that. People have said Skylanders, believe it or not.
Skylanders.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
So I never played Skylanders, but I know about it.
Yeah, me as well. And I would want them. You know what? In all honesty, I think they need Skylanders. I think if they need any game, Skylanders is actually the game they need. They don't need Call of Duty, right? Like, they have the shooters. Like, no, let's be very clear. They have the shooters, right? Like, look at Nintendo, look at Sony, look at Microsoft. Nintendo, very family oriented, first party focused. They sell that well, right? They're not worried about shooters. People put shooters on there. You got Apex on there. It doesn't play well. Who cares? It's on there. Seriously.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
It's not like they're gonna go play competitive Apex on a Switch.
No, it's never happening.
PlayStation, you have a wide variety of games, right? You have your E for Everyone in your Sackboy, your Astro's Playroom, which they're still going.
Sackboy's Big Adventure is actually a really fun game too. So
right?
that
Listen,
yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Like,
I just got a chance to play that like during Christmas break, and I was like, "Yo, I'm about to buy this shit. This is actually really fun."
Yeah, just to show you some perspective on branding on Sony and Nintendo's part, right? Like, because you have Mario, you have all these guys. Look at Sackboy.
He's so cute,
right? Like, Sackboy is and you could get this in Target right now. Like, Sackboy has brand.
Okay, he's coming up.
Branding. Sackboy has branding. Next up for Sony is Astro, right? And this is for the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and granted, adults could play it too. Like, Mario, adults could play, but like, you need something for the kids. What does Xbox actually have right now?
Lucky's Tale. Viva Pinata.
Lucky's Tale. Let me look.
It's on PC too, but it's a game. It's a game. I'll show the people. I got y'all.
No.
Lucky's Tale.
Believe it or not, Xbox actually needs something for the kids. And I think Skyrim is the perfect game.
For kids? Skylanders. I thought you said Skyrim.
Skylanders.
Like, excuse me?
Oh, I did say Skyrim. I did. Skylanders. That's what I meant. I did say Skyrim. Yeah, that's not for kids.
The kids gonna be fucked up.
Not for kids. I might as well tell people to start playing Grand Theft Auto. Jesus. But okay. No, this is cute. I like it.
Yeah, it's cute.
It's the first party though?
I don't remember. Let me look.
Right now I think they just got a hold of like Banjo-Kazooie and things like that.
Man, they have Rare. They have not made. Microsoft bought Rare and has not made a Banjo-Kazooie game. Probably since the Xbox 360.
I know. Yeah. No. But you know what? Listen, they're buying studios and they're devoted. They're devoted.
Get a vote and take it, everybody.
We're gonna let them rock. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I think Xbox. I think Landers. I was gonna say Skyrim again. I think Skylanders would be a great one for them, to really help facilitate something more family focused, family oriented, and bring a new audience to gaming. I think
feel that.
Skyrim could and on top of that,
Skylanders.
listen, man, yeah, Skylanders. I think Skylanders is one of those games. I'm gonna. I never played Skylanders, and like I don't even know. Like I've never even talked about Skylanders.
Right. I've talked about it for sure, but I don't remember if that came before Amiibos or not, but I think it did, and it kind of revolutionized. It made Amiibos a thing.
And I think that is what. Yes, pro quesadilla. Believe me, Skylanders is the game. That is the secret sauce to this whole acquisition. To be honest, if it wasn't for Call of Duty, I would say Skylanders is a $50 billion deal.
Well, I would have said that if not for the fact that they've been dormant for a while, because I haven't heard anything about Skylanders in like 5 years.
They died. But I definitely think that one is the secret. Yeah, Disney did it so well. I think Skylanders would be the one. The other game, I don't know. I mean, other than Skylanders, Tony Hawk, what else do they got over there?
So
I mean, they got Crash and they got Spyro.
Spyro, yeah. So they did bring those remasters and a new sequel,
right.
Which I have not played on stream yet, but I will. I know I keep saying I with that with a lot of games, but like I will get to it. I feel so. I'm gonna go on the opposite end of the spectrum here and say I don't know how popular Sekiro got. By the way, shout out to Arc8 for this hat because it's a Sekiro collection. But if they brought back Tenchu in the way that they did Sekiro, I would love.
Well, Sekiro was a popular one.
It was.
They published that one.
They did. And I feel if they ended up making Sekiro 2 an exclusive, that would fuck me up, first of all. Second of all, if they brought Tenchu back, fans have been asking for it for years, and when they showed off Sekiro for the first time, we're like, oh shit, it's a new Tenchu game, but it's not.
Right.
I feel like Tenchu would be my choice.
Okay.
Capitalize on the success from Sekiro and make a Tenchu. A lot of people don't know about Tenchu.
I think Xbox is going to have to just buy a Japanese studio.
Oh, they should have abandoned that. That.
Well, I mean, right now they're putting the squeeze on them. All right, right now they're putting the squeeze on them. I do feel like they might be out there. They're going to wait for this deal to close out, and hopefully Sony does something. But yeah. What else do they have over there in Activision? Activision did a lot of games, but they published a lot of games. Right? I think that is the thing. Activision published a lot of games. They didn't really have a lot of games that stayed, in my opinion, unless I'm wrong, chat, let me know if I'm wrong, that kind of stayed in their stable, because for a while they had a whole Spider-Man run.
That's
like
true.
Whole Spider-Man run.
That's true.
Like they did all the Spider-Man. Hell, actually, they had the Marvel deal.
Yeah, they had
X-Men Legends,
X-Men Legends
2, and the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2. Did they do the Wolverine too?
They might have. I'm looking at all their games. They got Crash, Tony Hawk, Sekiro, Spyro, lots of Call of Duty games, a whole lot of them. Blur, I forgot. King's Quest, for real?
King's Quest.
Skylanders Imagineers was the last 2016 one. Yeah, they don't have Destiny 2 anymore, but they had Destiny.
Oh, they're saying we froze.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my face froze.
Yeah, we all froze. So a little bit of context for y'all. Anytime I click out of my Discord call because I'm not on two screens, sometimes it doesn't prioritize Discord, so it just freezes everything. Thanks for
Ah.
letting me know, though. Yo, Activision has
Could you
Guitar
ever-
Hero?
Yes, that's another one. That is another one. Yeah.
Guitar
And
Hero?
DJ Hero. Yeah.
DJ? Like, are you kidding me right now?
But they prioritized Call of Duty.
They did, and I get it, but at the same time, holy shit! Like, if they were going to do
DJ
anything,
Hero? Give you
Yo.
DJ Hero 3?
yo, I love DJ Hero, bro. I love that game.
I've actually never played DJ Hero. Is it similar to Fuser?
In a way, yes, but the songs that are fusing together are already decided on the song. But there are things that there
on
are
DJ Hero?
yes, but there are freestyle moments within those songs. So like it'll be Rihanna Rude Boy with what's that other song? It's not Tom Kingston. It's not a Kingston song. It's another song, but it's like you play in my head like a record. What is it? I know Case is gonna have the answer for
Better
this.
mixes, really? Because I like Fuser.
I never played Fuser yet. I've only seen people play it before, and it's dope.
Yeah, Fuser is really cool.
But
I like Fuser.
From what I can tell, DJ Hero is just a lot more involved in what you do. So it's like Guitar Hero. It's like you have buttons, you have scratching, you have the crossfader, like you have all those mechanics in it, and it's oh my god, DJ Hero is so good.
Yeah, I mean,
it was more niche because it was harder to play than Guitar Hero. Because like Guitar Hero is like you got the buttons, you got the strum, and that's it.
Do they come out with another Guitar Hero and DJ Hero?
They had Ultimate Alliance too, as well.
Yeah.
Oh
they
my
had
god.
Ultimate Alliance. That's what I'm saying. I think they had the Marvel deal at the time. I think they were the studio for the Marvel deal.
Oh, this is crazy.
Yeah, because they had all the Spider-Man. Yo, hold on, bro. How far back?
Yeah, Activision publishes a shit ton of games.
How far back? Hold on.
They don't own the Ultimate Alliance IP anymore? Okay.
Far back?
Probably as far back as a PlayStation 1. Definitely. PlayStation 1 and Nintendo 64 at least. But they probably go back as far as the Super Nintendo. Oh, yeah, you're right. Nintendo did publish Ultimate Alliance 3.
No. Yeah, they did. Okay. I was about to say, oh my god. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a huge library of games. Like if I'm telling you, if they let us play Ultimate Alliance 2 and play that online, like they did have it released at some point and then they took it down from the store.
Yeah,
remember?
They took it down. And I think that was Nintendo. I have it. I own it. I own it. Yeah. So if you ever want to play, we could do like a share play or whatever.
Okay.
Run it. Yeah, I have both. I beat Ultimate Alliance 1. I'm still like midway into Ultimate Alliance 2. So I definitely need help with Ultimate Alliance 2. Yeah, but I have those.
Okay. I got you. Yeah. That's dope.
I had to listen. Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah, those games are fun.
I was on that. Yeah.
X-Men Legends, like that was the one that brought us to Ultimate Alliance. And this is bringing us right back to the Avengers thing too. Like honestly, Coop, you wanted to know more like issues I have with the game and like stuff like and things that I do like about it. Honestly, if you just sit there and look at like in a fight that's happening in Avengers, and you have Black Widow, you have Thor flying around shooting lightning at people and throwing his hammer. Mm-hmm. You have Black Widow flipping around enemies and countering them and shooting them with her Desert Eagle, does a shit ton of damage. You have Iron Man flying around, shooting lasers and rockets all at the same time. You've got Captain America throwing his shield and defending his team. When you see all that happening on screen at the same time, it is just like, this is fucking amazing. Like, this is how it looks in the movies. This is how it feels in the comic books. And it like, when you hit somebody with Thor's hammer and you see them go flying, and that sound that it makes, it is so satisfying. But the things that they fucked up on, there aren't enough characters on launch. There are not enough characters now. And like the characters that they were bringing in were like, again, like we said before, 2 Hawkeyes. What the fuck? But the other thing that it's missing beyond everything else is in Ultimate Alliance, in Ultimate Alliance 2 specifically, and in 3, they had all these co-op moves that you can do with people.
Oh, yes, the fusion.
Yes. And there was
Fusion.
none of that in this game. And I've always felt like Marvel's Avengers was supposed to be a third-person camera version of the Ultimate Alliance games, but just like more streamlined and more. If they had just nailed those fundamentals right there, oh my fucking god!
I would have taken that as well. Yeah.
If they had launched with 20 characters and had fusions with those characters and then added more whenever,
really did.
It would have been a wrap.
Yep.
It would have been a wrap.
Yeah.
There would be no one who was in it. If it had crossplay, there would be no one on your friends list who wasn't playing that game constantly. There would be no one.
For sure.
Even with all the other issues that it has.
Yeah, that would have been the game.
Yeah.
That would have been the game. Yeah. I'm interested. Oh man, that would have been the game.
Bro, I'm like tearing up because I'm just like I want that so bad. I want it so bad.
I wonder how difficult that would have been, though.
It wouldn't have been easy.
They would have had to think of something like that. No? You don't think?
Here's the part that really fucks me up and blows me away. Here's the part that really gets me. There are other games that are similar in concept to that exists. And I'm going to tell you one of them. Genshin Impact. It's a free-to-play game that is available on mobile and PC and console, and it is crossplay, and it has a shit ton of characters that you can unlock for free, and all of them, their moveset isn't quite as in-depth as it is in Avengers, but they all function and look completely different than each other. And if they... Warframe is an example, but they took several years to get to where they are now. So I'm confident that if they take a similar approach to what they did with Warframe for this game and just stick with it, even through the pain and all the tough parts, if they stick with it and continue to deliver on those additional things like we were talking about, if they added fusions into the game, like that would be a huge step because it would be a mechanic all on its own. So if they can just keep adding on top of that.
Oh yeah, no. They listen. Fusion should have been
day one, day zero. Like you're the Avengers, bro. Yeah, like Iron Man shooting his lasers off of Captain America's shield is iconic. You can't not have it in the game. Yeah,
real talk.
Yeah,
real talk. That makes 100% totally sense.
Yeah,
100%.
It hurts.
Yeah, I agree.
It hurts. It's right there.
Marvel Avengers.
Yo. All right. I don't want to keep you too long because I know you probably got to get some dinner.
Yeah.
I haven't eaten no dinner yet either. Before we bring this podcast to a close, is there anything else you wanted to say or talk about?
What are your hopes and concerns with this Marvel, Jesus, because we've been talking about Marvel, with this Microsoft Activision deal?
My hopes are that they will be taking some of the more dormant games and bringing them to light or expanding on them, or like games like Sekiro, for example. We haven't heard anything about an expansions or a sequel or anything like that. I want to see some of the more obscure games or games that they haven't really like spent a lot of time talking about. I want to see those games get talked about and get expanded on and get recognition. My fears and concerns are that the biggest one for me is that the culture with regards to Activision won't change. And I know enough about the inside workings of studios at times. a reason why people get away with the things that they get away with is because they have leverage on people, they have leverage on livelihoods, and they have leverage on their abilities to do anything about it. And that's not to say that Microsoft is known for being abusers or they have, they're known to be negligent in any way. But I don't see how this acquisition is helping them change that behavior. If anything, they're being rewarded for it because now the biggest thing publishers ever have to worry about is making their shareholders happy and about maximizing their income. What they have done is, I don't want to say they've eliminated their shareholders, but like they now have another layer on top of them that they have to answer to, but they don't have to worry about a lot of the things that they were focused on specifically because they have someone who's paying their bills even more than they were already getting. So they had stacks, and then they had like extra stacks on top of them stacks. So like, what else? Like, they've got rewarded for being shitty over and over and over again. Now they got the ultimate payout. They just got bought out by Microsoft.
Tell it how it is.
There were like maybe 2 or 3 companies that are bigger than Microsoft, and that being Apple and maybe Google or Amazon. I think Google, honestly. So you have one of the 3 biggest corporations on the planet, just like here's some money.
Here's some money.
Right. Like what's going to stop Bobby Kotick and anyone that he has employed or protected or has allowed to exhibit this kind of behavior? He's still the CEO. And as far as I know, there's no plan to remove him from being the CEO or being a member of the board. So
nothing's been set in stone. Every time I see any mention of Bobby, there's always insider information that once the deal closes, insider information once the deal closes, insider information. That's all I like. Like, who the fuck is the insider guy?
Bro, I can tell you right now, the reason why the insider hasn't made themselves be clear of who they are is because the way that these companies work is that they grab you by the balls, and there are I can at least say this: there are people who do incredibly important work behind the scenes on a lot of these projects who are contractually and legally
I know.
They don't get any recognition or any credit for what they do.
Oh, I know.
So what happens is these people who are integral to making sure things run the way they are supposed to run are now only tied to that company, and whatever they say is going to go, because who are you going to prove that you worked for them too if you aren't allowed to even have...
I'm not a professional.
The NDAs run deep.
I don't work hand in hand in the gaming industry, but in the industry that I work in, it's the same way. So
yeah,
I know.
It's like that. It's like that for a lot of industries, like the NDAs that you have to sign. Yeah.
So I get it. For me, it's been like, I'm at the point where I'm concerned like you in that aspect, because there's always been talks of, at least, well, I'm not gonna say always, but there's been talks of, since this deal's happened, that he's gonna step down, or this deal happened because it would be he would leave his position gracefully, and it's like, no, it's never been about you leaving your position gracefully, sir. Like, it's being held accountable, and there has not been any talk of being held accountable. So it's one of those things that I do feel like it may be swept under the rug, in a sense. Not fully under the rug. I do think that there may be some, maybe, but who knows? Who knows? Just like this deal, who knows?
Right.
I mean, it's an acquisition that's going to take place is going to take about 18 months to go through, right? Almost $70 billion. You better be damn sure everyone's going to look through this with a fine-tooth comb. Do I think this deal is going to go through? I was watching DJ Night the other day, the same day that this came out. And I was everywhere on the internet. I needed to know what people thought.
Mm-hmm.
And
shout out to DJ Night.
Shout out DJ Night. He definitely convinced me like this deal would go through. Because the number one and the number two gaming publishers are a Chinese and a Japanese company. You are technically on paper.
Ooh. Sorry. Got us.
Something serious has happened. Oh, it died. Ooh.
Yeah. So he stated, like, when you look at it on paper, once this deal goes through, on paper they'll be the number 3 company. Right? They'll move from number 5 to number 3. What American politician wouldn't want to put an American company in the top 3 of an industry this big? And at that, when he said that, and he didn't say it exactly like that, but like
paraphrase,
something along those lines. I was like, yo, yeah. I mean, it's not like it's really not a monopoly. Like, one game doesn't make it a monopoly, because it is really, like, when you really think about it, it's really Call of Duty that's the threat, right?
For sure.
World of Warcraft threat, because World of Warcraft is on PC anyway.
Overwatch was, when it came out, like it was Overwatch was taking the world by storm. Let's be real. Like, they made their own Overwatch league, and there are stadiums in California and all around the US that are dedicated to just Overwatch.
Overwatch, very true. You're right.
Yeah.
So
I don't know about now, but it was.
Blizzard does make those kinds of games, I guess, though. But but really, it was Call of Duty.
Yeah.
As long as you're a console player, like, strictly speaking, console, right?
Yeah.
But if you're a PC player, you don't even give a damn about this acquisition. It doesn't mean nothing to you. Like, okay, like, I just got to get Game Pass at this point. Like, now I'm thinking about Game Pass because I have Steam, but, like, now I gotta get Game Pass. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's still not a monopoly, because they don't have the amount of either IPs or studio, in my opinion, that could really put a chokehold on any given publisher. There's still enough publishers out there, right? And even enough publishers for an independent developer, to do business with. So that's another thing you have to look at, right? Like, you can still do business with Take-Two, you can still do business with Capcom, whoever you want to do business with. It's not like it's more of a consolidation thing. So in that respect, it is what it is. My hopes for this deal, though, well, no, let me actually do my concerns. My real concern about this deal is not this deal in particular. It is the same concerns I've had since the Bethesda deal. There are companies that have deeper pockets than Microsoft that are looking to get into this industry.
True.
And I've been saying this. And Microsoft, since Bethesda, has set a precedent that you can buy publishers and you can just start going. I know we're on Twitch, but I'm gonna say it. Amazon is one of those companies.
Oh yeah,
Amazon
they've already been doing it.
Is one of those companies. So now, if you get an Amazon that is looking to start to buy publishers, such as a Take-Two, such as a EA, right? And they already are establishing Luna. What does that mean for the industry? Because in my opinion, there's only so much more that Microsoft can buy before they are stopped. In my opinion, is only maybe one more major. My opinion, right? One more major, maybe two more minors, and they could keep buying studios as they come along. But as far as publishers, I think they could only probably, especially if and when this deal goes through, they probably only have one more major publisher they can actually buy before people are like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Y'all getting wild. Hold up.
Yeah. Like, but now you have to think Netflix wants to get into the space. Amazon wants to get into the space.
Cool.
Google's been trying to get into space.
And
I've been, ever since the Bethesda deal, I was like, I don't know if this is what we want for gaming.
Yeah.
I don't know if buying publishers outright is what we want for gaming.
Yeah.
Because there are way more people who are looking to get into this space, and they do not have the track record. We do not know what they are going to do with the companies, with these studios, and
because they're in charge. They decide what's going to happen.
We just don't know. So I am very reluctant in that regard. I am very concerned in that regard. And I've been saying it since the Bethesda deal. I'm going to say it again with this acquisition of Activision. And at the end of the day, I'm happy it was Microsoft, because we're used to Microsoft. We know it's Microsoft.
I'd rather it be them than a lot of these other companies. Yeah. Right.
That we have no idea what they're going to do or how they're going to run these businesses. My hope is that they do right by the employees. That they do right by the studios. In the sense of this helps reduce or even eliminate crunches, fatigue. This helps really breed innovation, and we're not seeing the same game year after year. These are the things I'm hoping that it does. I hope that what they put in the statement is what they're actually trying to accomplish. Because at the end of the day, all you got to do a word for me, dog. Like, if you're telling me that you're doing this to get to the next level, and I see y'all doing the same thing for the next decade, then why the hell did I even care that you bought Activision for?
Right.
I am happy for Microsoft. They are now a real competitor. No, seriously, let's be very honest here. They are now a real competitor.
Yeah.
In every sense of the word. This is not like, even though they're staying on paper, they're number 3. To me, I think they're going to be number 1. I think this will propel them to the number 1 spot. If that number 2, they're definitely knocking. I think they're knocking either Tencent or even Sony out of those places.
I mean, Nintendo is probably number 3 or 2.
4.
4? Are they?
It's. I think it's Sony, Tencent. No, maybe Nintendo is number 3. Hold on, what is it? Top game pubs. It might be Sony, Tencent, Nintendo.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
So,
they
yeah. So now, Listen, I think this deal will put them at the number 2 or number 1 spot.
I can see it. I can see it happening. Do I
So
want it to
now you'll
happen?
be.
No. But I can see it.
Listen. I mean, it is what it is. I feel like Sony kind of did it to themselves in a sense, kind of, maybe not.
Not PlayStation, but Sony overall, maybe. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
So they're definitely gonna have to. I mean, in my opinion, there's a lot of things that Sony's gonna have to do. They're gonna have to scramble and listen. I definitely think the landscaping of how PlayStation handles marketing is going to be different from here on out, especially with third-party marketing material.
Yeah,
because this is what the first one was Deathloop when they were marketing Deathloop, and then Bethesda got bought. They've been marketing Call of Duty for a decade, and Activision gets bought. So
yeah, that's dirty when you think about it. Like all the games that PlayStation helped popularize, like, oh, people like Call of Duty. Oh, people like Bethesda stuff. They like highly interactive, in-depth first-person experiences. Oh,
right. So with that being said, I do not see a future where Sony is gonna sit here and
I think Sony will.
They'll still no. I'm not gonna say they won't market third party stuff.
Yeah,
but like I definitely think they're gonna think twice about who and what they market from here on out.
I have a feeling that Sony had already bought a bunch of different studios. I feel like they did it strategically in like you made a game for us because you wanted to make a game for us, and it was like we think you just did really good shit. We want to buy you. I think they're going to be doing that more at this point, because if you can buying a huge publisher basically means you bought a whole bunch of developers, a whole bunch of development studios. But if you can just go to individual development studios that are already independent,
right?
I don't know.
And they're doing it right now. They're doing it right now, right? Just this past year alone, with not with who they bought, but with the partnerships they are starting. With I want to say, I forget, Deviation. That might be the new studio. I want to say they might have been ex Bungie, ex somebody. I want to say, they're ex somebody. They're ex somebody. Definitely ex first person shooter focused devs for sure. I remember that one.
Okay.
And there's like 2 studios like that because they're partnering with these studios to make a first-person shooter. They want first-person shooter experiences because for the longest they've been very single-player focused, single-player driven experiences. Now, in all reality, I think that Factions needs to come out this year.
You said Factions?
Last of Us.
Oh, that should have been here. I don't think they're doing it. I don't think they're working on it.
Oh no. That needs to. They need to get that out of the back burner and like. I know they were calling Naughty Dog. Like, you know what? I know we said we might not be spending any more money on this, but yeah, no, we need that.
Yeah,
we need that right now. PSVR 2, I think is going to be a hit.
Oh yeah, no, there's no. I mean,
be a hit. Especially if they come out this year 2. I think the adoption rate will probably be way higher.
People are getting Oculus Quest 2s like out the wazoo, and they're getting their taste of VR, and they're just like, "Oh shit,
yeah,
this is good."
I just need them to do PlayStation Home on there. As long as they do that, I think they got that.
If they bring back PlayStation Home for VR, that is going to be ridiculous.
That's because they got all the casuals.
If you can get Meta and PlayStation Home on a PSVR, like here's my thing. I know we're way over time. This is the last thing I'll say.
I love having conversations with you, man.
Yes, me too. If they do PSVR 2 and allow it to work on PC as well, it is a wrap.
That is, for sure.
It is a wrap.
And
I will buy it yesterday. It's a wrap.
I think they should do it. I think they should do it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So those are my hopes, my concerns. Listen, that's what's happening. Microsoft is attempting to buy Activision. I think it's going to go through.
I think it is too. Matter of fact, I thought it had already gone through. That's how far in. That's how far solidified this is in my brain. Like I thought it was already like done.
It's a thing.
It's already done.
The ink is the ink's dried.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ink's dried. We both have hopes and concerns. I think a lot of our concerns align. Our hopes are different, but they're great.
Yeah, no, that's the same hope I have as well, though. I don't want them to just do the same old shit they've already done.
Yeah, great hopes nonetheless. And yeah, I mean, listen, this is, if the world wasn't paying attention to gaming now, I mean, if they weren't paying to gaming before, they're paying attention to gaming now, my friend, because this sent a signal. This one sent a signal. Everyone. I mean, Jesus. Like I've never seen so many news outlets
talking about it. Yeah, no, it's gonna be everywhere. That's just it.
Listen, this is the one. This is the one.
Everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting.
Yeah, it's an exciting time. Everyone, make sure you go follow Audio Lover, the Audio Lover.
Thank you.
Thank you again for your time, man. This was a great conversation. I hate to cut it off, but I'm also hungry as hell. So I'm sure you are too.
For sure. Yeah, episode 98. You're 2 away. You're two away.
Yeah.
Episode 98. Wow.
Almost a big 100.
Yeah, this is amazing, man. When you started, you didn't even have them yet. You didn't even have them yet.
I didn't have shit.
You didn't even have them yet.
I didn't have any.
You didn't even have them yet.
I had a fade.
You had a fade. Look how far we go.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Look how far we come.
The season.
Yeah.
Everyone, it's been real. Thank you all so much for watching the podcast and for listening to the podcast. If you're listening on Spotify or iTunes or whatever other podcasting app you listen to, thank you for doing that. I know that the episodes have been really sporadic, so keeping up with when they come out has been difficult, but I'm going to try to do better this year about making, at least having more consistency, whether it's every 2 weeks or whether it's just once a month. I'm still trying to figure out what that looks like or sounds like. If y'all prefer it to be more often than not, let me know. Send your feedback, whether it's in live streams or on social media, emails, whatever it is. Just like, let me know like what I'm doing, what we're doing well, what we're not doing, but beyond that, I appreciate you all so much. Audio Lover, once again, thank you, man.
No problem, man.
Take care.
As always.